everyone, my name is Joy Witter. I am a teacher by profession, and I have done a bunch of other things which I like to do: cooking, baking, just living, loving people. And I was just passing by and I saw this nice big chair, and I'm a little random and I like to do things I've never done before, just like a kid in the candy store, like to explore. I walked away and forgot that I was gonna check out this author, illustrator, and I have a passion to be an an author, and I've written a couple books that I need to publish. So I was drawn when I saw this, and I saw this book, George Orwell, 1984, and I could relate to George Orwell because I'm dating myself a little bit, but I read Animal Farm, so the name rang a bell. So I grabbed George Orwell, and I think I saw something that really interests me on this book. It says, "War is peace." So it's like an eye. To one corner of the eye, war is peace. Another corner of the eye, ignorance is strength. And in the middle, freedom is slavery. Now, that's interesting. So I'm going to read a little bit for you, and then I will talk about what it means to me. And why they banned this book, I don't know. But let's see what it has. Okay, so I'm going to start from starting a story in the middle. Interesting. I don't want it to be long, so I'm just going to read a little excerpt. Attention, your attention please. A news flash has this moment arrived from the Malabar front. Our forces in South India has won a glorious victory. I am authorized to say that the action we're now reporting may well bring war within measurable distance of its end. Here is the news flash. Bad news coming? Thought Winston, and sure enough, following on a gory description of the annihilation of a Eurasian army with stupendous figures of killed and prisoners, came the announcement that as from next week, the chocolate ration would be reduced from 30 grams to 20. Winston belched again. The gin was wearing off, leaving a deflated feeling. The telescreen, perhaps to celebrate the victory, perhaps to drown the memory of the lost chocolate, crashed into Oceana. "'Tis for thee." You were supposed to stand to attention. However, in his present position, he was invisible. Oceana, "'Tis for thee" gave way to lighter music. Winston walked over to the window, keeping his back to the telescreen. The day was still cold and clear. Somewhere far away, a rocket bomb exploded with a dull, reverberating roar. About 20 or 30 of them a week were falling on London at present. Down in the street, the wind flapped the torn poster to and fro, and the word INGSOC fitfully appeared and vanished. Ingsoc! Ingsoc! The sacred principles of Ingsoc? Newspeak, double-think, the mutability of the past. He felt as though he were wandering in the forest of the sea bottom, lost in a monstrous world where he himself was the monster. He was alone. The past was dead, the future was unimaginable. What certainty had he that a single human creature now living was on his side? And what way of knowing that the dominion of the party would not endure forever? Like an answer, the three slogans on the white face of the Ministry of the Truth came back at him. War is peace, freedom is slavery, ignorance is strength. That's right here. He took a 25-cent piece out of his pocket. There, too, in tiny, clear lettering, the same slogans were inscribed. And on the other face of the coin, the head of the big brother. Even from the coin, the eyes pursued you. On coins, on stamps, on the covers of books, on banners, on posters, and on the wrappings of a cigarette packet, everywhere. Always the eyes watching you and the voice enveloping you, asleep or awake, working or eating, indoors or out of doors, in the bath or in bed, or no escape. Nothing was your own except the few cubic centimeters inside your skull. The sun had shifted round, and the myriad windows of the ministry of truth, with the light no longer shining on them, looked grim as the loopholes of a fortress. His heart quailed before the enormous pyramidal shape. It was too strong, it could not be stormed. 1,000 rocket bombs would not batter it down. He wondered again for whom it was writing. He was writing the diary. For the future, for the past, for an age that might be imaginary. And in front of him there lay not death but annihilation. The diary would be reduced to ashes and himself to vapor. Only the thought police would read what had written before they wiped it out of existence and out of memory. How could you make appeal to the future when not a trace of you, not even an anonymous word scribbled on a piece of paper, could physically survive? The telescreen struck 14. He must leave in 10 minutes. He had to be back at work by 14:30. Curiously, the chiming of the hour seemed to have put new heart into him. He was a lonely ghost uttering a truth that nobody would ever hear. But so long as he uttered it in some obscure way, the continuity was not broken. It was not by making yourself heard, but by staying sane, that you carried on the human heritage. He went back to the table, dipped his pen, and wrote, to the future or to the past, to a time when thought is free, when men are different from one another and do not live alone, to a time when truth exists and what is done cannot be undone, from the age of uniformity, from the age of solitude, from the age of Big Brother, from the age of doublethink, greetings.
Thank you.
Now, what does all of this mean? To me, it is saying you can't ban the book because you don't like what the content has. Everyone is entitled to their opinion, and as it states clearly that they may be putting the story of something that has passed, and not everyone was there to know what was said, and so someone may want to learn some history. That's all I'm saying. Don't ban the book.